Hello, hi, and welcome to EmpathicFire. I am your reader, Jay. These are general messages for the sign of Capricorn in November 2018. What's up, Capricorn? How you guys doing? Hope you guys are doing well. Alright, guys, November is upon us, so happy Thanksgiving for those who will be celebrating later this month. Next week, in fact, here in the States and elsewhere in the world. If you are celebrating, again, happy Thanksgiving. If you're not, that's cool too. Thank you so much for showing up anyway and viewing this reading. Capricorn, you see your main spread there. What I'm going to do now is shuffle for your outcome. Once all cards are out, or your outcome and your overall energy, excuse me. When all cards are out and they're lying face up, that's when the reading will begin. You can look for that time in the description box below. Also down there are steps that you would take in order to get a personal reading with me, if you are ever so inclined. And I do need to apologize for the lateness of these videos. Sagittarius, Aquarius, and Pisces are getting these pretty late into the month, but I am pretty much a regular human being. I have a regular job. I've got other responsibilities and other projects that I work on besides doing tarot readings for the public. I also do, obviously, personal readings, so there's just, you know, only so many hours in the day. I do like a good sleep. I'm not one of these people who can, like, sleep on or function on 3 hours, 4 hours of sleep a night. I really need more than that, so just not enough hours in the day. So I apologize for how late these are. Please, please, please forgive me. Anyway, let's go ahead and get your outcome and your overall energy. Outcome for Capricorn. Wow. Okay. I didn't fully ask, but I feel good with that coming up there. So there it is. Bottom of the deck is the overall energy. And you've only got one card face down, so let's see what that is. Oh, there it is. Well, well, well. Well, 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 well. Okay. Alright, Capricorn, let's get into it. Where's Capricorn in November 2018? Please show me Capricorn in November 2018. Please show me. Here? Alright, there we go. Excuse me. Coming into November, Capricorn, you come in as the Judgment card. Major Arcana, Judgment cards. Yeah, Major... I can't talk. Major Arcana, the Judgment card. Basically, talks about calling up the dead for final judgment, right? It's that whole biblical reference of... God, I forget. I wasn't raised religious anyway, so the names of like angels and apostles and prophets and all that kind of stuff elude me. But there's an angel that's, right? Isn't that how it goes? An angel comes down and basically like begins the reckoning. He or she or whatever it is like, all right, guys, this is it. This is the moment you've been waiting for. And everybody, those who are believers and those who are non-believers are kind of, you know, sectioned off and, you know, told where to go, and then you make final judgment also on those that are already passed on, I think is what the judgment, like the reckoning is all about. I think that's what it's about, right? In any case, for our purposes, this is about making like a final judgment call. This is about feeling prepared, feeling ready, feeling not correct, but feeling the timing might be correct, or the need is so persistent, so much that you have to make a final judgment, that you have to kind of call to task or call up issues or people from your past and make final judgment on them. I think the feeling for you, Capricorn, right now is, I can do it, I'm ready, I'm willing, I'm able, and it will be difficult, or it has been difficult if you're dealing with this already. By the time you view this video, it has been difficult. It's not easy to make this judgment call, to kind of weigh out the pros and the cons, or to make your opinion on a situation finalized. Some of you might be, you know, finalizing the beginning or the end of certain relationships. You might be finalizing your involvement in a situation, how much you're willing to give to a partner, how much you're willing to sacrifice in a relationship. And I'm saying relationship, I'm saying partnerships is not necessarily all romantic. I'm definitely not feeling that for a good portion of you. It would be more something like business or friendship. And for fewer of you, like a collaboration of sorts. So like a creative collaboration. Maybe you have been working closely with somebody in media, and you're a content creator, but those people or that person who's kind of putting your information, not your information, but putting your creation out there. Maybe they're helping you build a website or build a YouTube channel, or maybe you're streaming elsewhere and you've been working with this person, but now that relationship is coming to an end, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad way. Any of these endings, it could be the end as in like, well, you've hit the roof, you've hit the ceiling of how far you can go with this person or how far you can go in this relationship. So maybe if it's, again, a creative collaboration, you've been using a certain service, maybe even like working exclusively with like a software developer, and you've taken what they've taught you, or you've taken everything they could have given to you that enhanced your streaming, that enhanced your content, and now you're looking for the next big thing, or how else can I grow my brand? How else can I grow my channel? Things like this. If it is a relationship, a personal relationship, romantic or not, you may have reached this pinnacle point where we're not going anywhere, romantically or not. It's the end of the lease. I'm trying to live alone. I don't want to live with a roommate for the rest of my life. So you're just like, okay, well, I'm not re-signing the lease. I'm not going to stay here past whatever month. And, in 5 months' time, I'll be living alone, and you're going to have to find a new roommate, and that's that. And you've made that judgment. You've finally decided, I want to live alone. I don't want to live with a roommate anymore, or I want to move out of my parents' house, whatever you're doing. So there's this idea of things for not a while, but previous to this point. Not a long while, I should say. You have felt like something. I feel you've known something was going to come to a close, or be leveled up in a certain way, or you would pass through a gate. Like literally, like, all right, like this is the end of the line. I have to move on to something else. I have to move on to someone else. I have to move on to a different place, a different platform, whatever it is. And you've felt that coming, Capricorn. You felt it. You've known it's coming. Some of you have known because literally the lease is up in 6 months. So in 6 months' time, I will have made my decision. And my decision is I'm leaving. Or my decision is I'm going to find a new roommate. Whatever it is. So you've known this whole thing has come or was coming. And I feel that you've been prepared. Capricorn, there's very few times where you're unprepared. Let's just say that. So you've been prepared for this, or you've been preparing for this. You may have been a little like quiet about it. You may have been like trying to do it in a way, not that it was sneaky, but just you weren't really expressive about what changes you were going to implement, how you were going to implement them, when you were going to implement them, what were they? What steps are you taking? What steps have you already taken? Like, you've been doing all this work on your own. You've been doing all this preparation work on your own. And only now other people are starting to catch wind of what you're doing. And, that's the way it is. So some people might be caught off guard with whatever you're doing. And from your perspective, it's like, well, it wasn't your business to begin with, what I was planning to do. So if you're upset about this, I'm sorry, but it really had nothing to do with you, or if it does affect you in some type of way, I am sorry, or I apologize that it might make you feel as if I've done something suddenly, but actually I haven't. So in some cases, some of you might be making excuses, but in other cases, I feel it's just a matter of you're so well managed, you're so well disciplined within yourself that oftentimes people view what you do as like sneaky, and it's not sneaky. It can be perceived that way, but from your perspective and from what I'm feeling, it's not sneaky. Like, I've been doing it. I just haven't told you I was doing it, which I guess is the definition of being sneaky. But from your perspective, Capricorn, it just feels like, well, we both knew the lease was up, or we both knew that once I hit X amount of followers and I got sponsorship, I was going to move on and do something else. Like, you kind of assume, maybe, Capricorn, what other people knew and understood about the situation, and therefore you don't feel any type of way about what you're planning to do and what you have begun to execute. You're just like, well, I thought you knew. Like, you know, didn't I say? Like, you're prepared. So if this is a lease situation, if this is a situation involving like where you live, you're like, okay, they said, you know, I mean, you signed a lease in January 18 for a year. That means by the end of December 2018, you need to know if you're going to sign that lease again or not. So in your mind, you decided back in August, I'm not going to re-sign this lease. I'm going to move out. So for the past 4 months, 6 months, or whatever, you've been saving money so you can move out. Your roommate, on the other hand, has been living status quo, like assuming the lease renewal will just turn over. And in your mind, you're like, no, I think a year here is what I want. A year here is all I'm going to do. So let me go ahead and, but, you know, start saving for a new deposit for a new apartment by myself. And then you tell your roommate, November 2018, yeah, so I found a new place. I'm going to be moving in a little bit after Christmas or a little bit before Christmas, whatever. And they're like, oh, what? And you're just like, yeah. And they're like, but you never told me. And then you're like, but the lease was only for a year. So, of course, this is what I'm doing. And so the assumption is a little like much for somebody else. Like, you just assumed that this would be okay for me. You just assumed I would be okay without you, or this situation would be fine the way you're trying to leave it. And you're like, yeah, I did. And you're not, you feel, I think someone is, in some cases, trying to make you feel guilty or trying to make you feel responsible for something. And you're just like, you're not even going to get that off the ground with me. No, I'm not letting that fly. And you're not going to let that fly. So you're making judgments, you're moving on to certain things, and you're putting other things to bed, you're starting up certain things, and it all makes sense to you. It's all part of your game plan. It's all part of what you have put forth in your life and what you have, what you're working towards. And other people might be like, huh? What? And shocked, or like caught off guard, or feeling, I don't want to say betrayed, but let's be fair to some people, because some people can be that way. Some people might feel betrayed by something that you're doing to benefit you, or to, again, further or progress your life in a certain way. Other people will be like, oh, I can't believe you did this, Capricorn. And you're like, oh my God, I'm just like moving out, Mom. Jesus. Like, I'm an adult. I want to leave the house. This is normal. And your parents are like, but you didn't tell us. And you're like, I'm 28. I think I should leave. Anyway, so this preparation, this judgment that you're making, this assertive, feeling confident, feeling this is the right move, feeling this is the road I want to walk down next, is reaction to the Tower card. Number one, let me just do a quick aside with you. First of all, I had to take a few days off because life got in the way and my schedule got crazy, but I just did Sagittarius's reading, and they were just all over the place. They were just like haywire, and it was a lot. Yours is very structured. I feel it. I feel this is very like step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, etc., etc. It's just like everything is contained. It flows. It's like following an outline that you have constructed. So good for you, Capricorn. I do feel that. And I think I had to stop and say that because if you're familiar with the Tower, and the Tarot, and you know the Tower card, this might be a little like, what are you talking about, Jay? Like, why are you so calm? The Tower's right there. Oh no. The Tower to me is it's already happened or it's about to happen. And it is that sudden change. It is that like overnight change, that flip of the switch kind of movement or progression that, again, could catch some people off guard, could make some people feel totally like thrown out of that building. Like the lightning bolt hits the building, catches the building on fire, and then people are jumping out of the windows, or they're thrown out because of the circumstance and the swift change that happens. But for you, I feel like if you were falling out of that window, Capricorn, you've got a parachute pack on, you've got the wind goggles on, you're wearing the correct gear. Like, you were like, okay, on this day the tower's going to happen. I should get ready. So as much as this was an upheaval for someone else, and to an extent, you would be feeling a little bit of that energy, like, even if you are thrown out of a building and you've got all the preparation, you've got the parachute pack and everything on, you still have to stick the landing, right? You still have to deal with other conditions that you may or may not be prepared for, that you think you're prepared for, but maybe your preparation wasn't enough. So maybe you were planning to land in that clear field over there, but the wind, came along and blew you over into the forest. You see what I mean? So like, there are still elements of the tarot card that could affect you, but I still feel you knew it was coming. You knew this would happen. So, and also for some of you, it's already happened. Whatever I'm talking about, you know exactly what it is, who was involved, everything. The details of it are not lost on you. And maybe that was it. Like, maybe, again, I feel this roommate thing, this living situation thing. You knew the lease was up. You knew someone was going to get their panties in a bunch and say, well, get the hell out of my house, in some cases. And you were like, I'm ready to go. I've packed my bags. I've got things. I've been slowly stocking my things away in a storage space because I knew you would do this to me. I knew you would do this to me. So some of you, this preparation was a defensive move, not an offensive move. I hope that makes sense. So for some of you, it was like, okay, the lease is up. Let me go ahead and get my ducks in a row so I can be ready to move out, because I'm not going to renew this lease, and, I'm sorry for my roommate or my friend or whoever, but I got to go. Others of you are like, this person I'm living with, this situation I'm in is very volatile, it's very unsteady, it's unpredictable, and let me just go ahead and get ready for when the hammer drops and this person says they want me to get out of their house. Okay. And when that happens, I laugh because when I said that, they flashed me quickly to like a Thanksgiving dinner scene, that we often joke about here in the States, how Thanksgiving is when all your family gets together and all the drama happens. And so you literally have to be prepared for some crazy stuff. So maybe that's what some of you are doing. Like, okay, Thanksgiving is coming. This situation between me and my parents is kind of becoming tense. My Aunt Tina's coming and she can run her mouth. And then my Uncle Joe, he's over here. He drinks too much and he's going to stir the pot. So let me just get ready. Let me just be ready for when the fight breaks out, for when people start dropping all the F-bombs and making declarations and making ultimatums. Let me just be ready. So when, because of something that Uncle Tina, maybe, something Aunt Tina says, something Uncle Joe says, and then your mom gets upset, and then your dad gets upset, and he's just like, everybody get the fuck out of my house! No, no, no. And you're just like, I was ready. I was ready for this. And then it turns into this this whole argument where it's directed towards you specifically, Capricorn, and you're like, and another thing, you've been living in my house rent-free for blah, 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 and I'm gonna tell you what, you better have a job, and you better do this, and you better get ready, because no more games, you're getting out of my house, and you're like, I'm leaving tomorrow. And your parents are like, what? He's like, yeah, I kind of had an idea that you would do this because you do this every year, and I don't want to live in your house rent-free anymore. I don't want anything from you anymore, so I have prepared myself for this. I'll be gone in a week. Thanks a lot. Like, I'm channeling your energy. I'm not channeling necessarily what you will say or how you will say it, but I'm channeling your energy of, I'm not going to be victimized, or I'm not going to be, you're not going to make a fool out of me. is basically what this is. I know your game, Dad. I know your game, Mom. I know your game, Aunt Tina and Uncle Joe and whoever else who's out here trying to stir the drama up, making this holiday into a crappy, piss poor holiday. I already know what this is going to be. I peep the game. I peep it. I got it. I'm ready. So whatever this change is, leaving a house, ending a relationship, business-wise, family-wise, I don't care, romantic relationship, whatever, you are ready. You called it from 100 paces out. You can see it, you know? So that's what I feel, Capricorn. My energy is, you're not going to make a fool out of me. I feel it. I'm not going to fall for this, or I'm not going to involve myself in this anymore, or I don't want this anymore. I want something different. Again, going back to the roommate situation or even the business relationship, we've reached the pinnacle point. We've reached the top of what we're going to achieve here, Tom. Okay? I love what you've done for me. I love how you've supported my content. I love how you've supported me creatively, business-wise, whatever, but I need more, or I want more, and you can't give me more, so I have to go. I have to take my creative content, I have to take my ideas and put them elsewhere, because I've grown as much as I'm going to grow with you. And other people are like, some of them might have this like, how dare you kind of reaction to you, or this like, who the hell do you think you are? And you're like, I'm Capricorn, I'm smart, I'm prepared. Don't you know by now? Come on. You know? Or if they've never seen that side of you, it's like, well, introducing new and improved Capricorn. And this person is ready for anything. I'm a Boy Scout, I'm a Girl Scout, I'm an Eagle Scout, whatever. I am ready. I'm Bear Grylls out here, okay? Maybe not literally like out in the woods, but I am Bear Grylls-ing my life. I'm getting super prepared. I'm getting fortified. All right. So that preparedness and that judgment that you're making, that move to end a certain thing or begin a certain thing, is all because you see the tower happening, or you knew the tower was going to happen, and you just knew. So it's fine. In a lot of ways, this is fine. Even if it's super difficult, even if it comes with tears and shouting and, you know, people throwing dinnerware across the room, and it's like, oh no, not the sweet potatoes. Yes, the sweet potatoes, and, you know, food goes flying. Even if it comes with like high dramatics and volatility, it's like, you're okay. You're okay. Everybody else, maybe not, but you, Capricorn, should be pretty okay. Now, on the other side of this comes this huge change for you in the form of the Death card. Death card associated with Scorpio, so there might be a Scorpio significance in your situation, but it does not have to be. Death card indicates change, indicates transformation, is literally moving from one phase or one state of being to another. I've said it for a few of the signs before, because the Death card has been repetitive for the November readings. And so like I've said to them, the Death card indicates, or excuse me, if you want to think of it in literal terms, what is death? You go from living to being dead. That's it. Like literally one phase, one state of being, one mode of operation to another. Living, animated, breathing to none of that. That's a literal change, a literal transformation. But if you, again, want to think of it more in the esoteric way, it would be a transformation and transformative energy and how you apply it to your life. So for some of you, where it's the whole, you've been living in my house rent-free, you're a bum, you don't have a job, you're like, little do you know, I do have a job, little do you know, I've saved money, little do you know, Mom and Dad, I have a place of my own, I'll be moving out in a few weeks' time. You know, it's like this, in some cases, this is going to be like a one-upman kind of thing. Like, I just checkmated you. Checkmate. I win. Is kind of what I feel for you, Capricorn. It's like somebody assumed you were a loser, or assumed you would lose, or assumed that you were not competition, or that you had no leg to stand on, you had no dog in the race, however you want to think of it. Somebody assumed that about you, and you're not being egotistical about it. I'm going to say that. But you're being very honest about it. It's like, no, I'm okay. What you thought was incorrect. Your presumption was wrong. And here's what's happening in reality. And reality will show I'm going to stand on my own 2 feet. Reality will show I have enough money to do whatever I want to do. Reality will show if this is like about a business partnership where someone's like, if you leave now, you're not going to make it. You don't have the capital. You don't have the startup money. And you're like, I do. I have a new partner. We're working on this together. So, you know, it's just like, F the haters is basically, screw the haters is how I'm feeling it. And it's not ego because you've prepared. I think a lot of times, not even a lot of times, when we think about ego, we will think that ego is really baseless. Like you just think you're great, or you just think the world of yourself, and it's not based on anything. That's not what's going on here. You're not saying it. You're walking the walk, you're talking the talk here. You know, so some people are doubtful. You don't have any money, and you whip out your phone, you log into your bank details, and you show them. See that? That's what's in my bank account right now. I'm good. Someone's like, you don't have an apartment. You whip out the keys with the little tag, the little label on it that says the address, because it's, you know, the new place that you're moving into. And you're like, and then you show them pictures of the apartment that you found and that you know, signed a lease on or whatever. So if somebody calls your bluff, you're going to show them. Checkmate. Checkmate. I'm telling you, I'm fine. I'm telling you, I'm making this move. No, you're not. Checkmate. I just did. You lose, I win. It's very nice. For you, it's very nice for you. Again, for other people, it might not feel great. They might be salty. They might be hurt. But for you, it's just like, I'm good. I'm so good. I'm beyond good. Thank you very much. Thanks for asking. Thank you. All right. So that, you know, very quick, concise, precise. I love it. Now, I think we're going to go across the top the same way. Yep. Basically, I think the top row is echoing, because this is all arcanas down here. You've got 2 minors and you've got 1 major at the top. But I feel everything that I told you is really like, what is the meat of this thing? The meat and potatoes of this thing? This is like your peas and carrots up here. The meat and potatoes is down here. Your peas and carrots is up top. So, peas and carrots. I'm hungry. Anyway, so right above the Judgment card, you've got that 2 of Swords, where I told you that, I think I told you in the beginning, what you're doing might seem sneaky to other people, and by definition, it might technically be sneaky, but for you, it was because of this. You had to do it this way because this is what you were doing. 2 of Swords is about making decisions, but avoiding it, not being ready, not being informed, not being brave in some cases. So for some of you, that was like what you were. Maybe you were kind of quiet. Maybe you were kind of like mousy, and you didn't know exactly what you wanted. You were indecisive about what you wanted. And then you evolved into this Judgment card. So going from, I don't know, I'm not sure, to, okay, I got it. I know exactly what I'm doing. I know exactly what I want. There's this progression between these 2 positions. Another thing here is about that blindfold. Is they're drawing me to the blindfold. They're drawing me to the arms crossed. And so there was, in some of your cases, you were dealing with someone who was like this, who was blindfolded, who had their arms crossed in front of them, who were not open and receptive to whatever you were saying. So for some of you, you were given hints, or you were telling people straight up, I am not going to stick around here forever. Maybe in the beginning of your business relationship, Cap, maybe you told the person, okay, I have this goal, and da-da-da-da-da. And they're like, okay, cool, I can help you achieve that goal. And it was copacetic. But then also in that same conversation, you told that person, by this date, I want to accomplish this, and if I have, then I'm going to now move on and do this other thing. And they're like, oh yeah, sure. Yeah, I can work with you. And they didn't either believe that you would hold up to that declaration, that you would stick to what you said. In other cases, they just didn't believe you would ever get to that point of transition. So again, if it was a business thing, by this time, I hope to have 5,000 followers. I want to see this much coming in from support, advertisement, and partnership support, blah, blah, blah. And then if that happens, then I'm going to go start doing this. And they're like, yeah, okay, sure. And you're just like, okay, you're not listening. I told you. So you may have told this person, I'm doing this next. And they're like, okay, sure, I'll believe it when I see it. And now they're about to see it. And they don't believe it. So, so if it's not business, if it's family or relationships, I feel you've told someone, look, in a relationship, marriage, romantic, or even not romantic, I want this out of our relationship. I want to do this. I want to have this. And they're like, sure. And you're like, okay. If I don't get those things, I'm going to leave. They're like, okay, sure. Or, well, we'll work on it. We'll see. A lot of you have been given that, we'll see. You're like, I will only take so many we'll sees before I go see about it myself. And so I think that's what you've gotten to, Capricorn. A lot of you have hit a point in your relationship, whether you're married. I don't feel a lot of marriage here, but for some of you it could be. But I feel it's more of like a dating situation. Been together a few months, maybe a few years. And it's like, look, I have these goals for my life, or I have these goals in my relationship if I'm with anybody. I wanna travel, let's say. And this person's like, oh yeah, I want to travel too. Okay, look, cool. Look, where do you want to go? And they're like, oh, let's go to blah blah blah. And that's like literally the next town over. It's not very far from your home. And you're like, I meant like internationally. Like I'm trying to go to Brazil. Like, do you want to go to Brazil? And they're like, I don't speak Spanish. And you're like, they speak Portuguese in Brazil? And they're like, whatever. Like, there might be that type of disconnect with this person. And you've told them, look, I like you. I like spending time with you. I think you're a cool person, but you gotta elevate yourself. You gotta step your game up here. What's that? That's going way back, but going back to when Beyonce said, let me upgrade you. Like, let's get upgraded here, baby. And they're like, I'm fine. I'm good with where I am. And they're like, look, Capricorn, you're just like, listen, I'm all about the upgrades. Like, I get the new iPhone every year. Like, I have that same mentality for my relationships. So we're here, baby. We're starting at a 6 or a 7 together. I'm trying to get us to like a 9 or a 10. And they're like, I'm cool with 6 or 7. You're like, well, then no, we're not going to be together if you don't get up to a 9 or a 10. If you can't come up to at least at least an 8, we're not, no. And they're just like, they're not believing you when you said that, because the whole time that you're telling them that, you're also saying, I do love you. I love you very much. Let's do this together. You're buying gifts for each other. You're spending quality time with each other, but you're just, for your taste, for your line of things, Capricorn, it just never got to that level that you wanted it to get to. And you're like, okay, well, this has been nice, but I have to tell you, I've waited and I've been patient and I've told you and you said you would work on it, but you didn't. And so they were in that 2 of Swords phase where you told them the whole time, look, these vacations to Florida, they're nice, but ultimately I'm trying to get to Brazil. We could go halfway and go to Mexico or go to a place in the Caribbean or something. And they're just like, but I like Florida. And you're like, but no, baby, I want Mexico. I want to go to the Dominican Republic, I want to go somewhere else. And they're just like, but if we go to Florida, we get this, this, and this. And you're just like, I'm telling you. Like, this could be over the course of years that you're having these conversations. Like, if we go to Florida one more time, I'm telling you, that's it. I'm telling you. And they're like, but babe, Florida, come on, let's go. And you go. And you have a good time. You're not gonna rain on anybody's parade, Capricorn. You're a team player for the most part. And you go, you have a semi-good time, and then you come back from Florida, and it's like 2 weeks later. So, Florida was nice. This is over. And they're like, what? And I said, I told you. Florida, one more time. We're done. But we had a great time in Florida. We had this, and we did that, and we went to the beach, and blah, 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 blah. And you're like, yeah, I told you. If we go to Florida again, this is it. It's like, I told you. I'm not gonna do it, but they. Anyway, there was a nice little memory that they played. Well, memory, but whatever. They put something in my head that made me laugh. It's very fitting for this. I told you. When did I tell you? There it goes. I told you. When did I tell you? A long time ago. It's just like, what do you want me to do? I can't do anything else. I'm a man or a woman of my word. When I said Florida one more time, you got one more time to tell me we're taking a vacation to Florida, and if we go again, that's the end of this. I meant what I said. I meant it. And you're on the flight to Florida. This is it. This is going to be our last vacation together. Let me have a good time. I don't want to spoil his or her vacation. Let me just go ahead, smile in these photos. Yes, we're drinking pina coladas, doing whatever. And then you get back, and a few weeks later, you're like, okay, so Florida was great. But that's the end of us. So this person is just like, I can't believe you, Capricorn. And you're like, believe it, because I told you. Why don't you believe it? I told you. I gave you fair warning. You called my bluff. Here it is. Checkmate. Okay? So, and perfect. Because you saw the tower coming, yes. Remember what we were talking about down there. You saw the tower coming. You got your little parachute pack. Bang. Literally. You've been working. You've been working on it. So, this separation, this change, this sudden change that someone else is feeling is so much more sudden, or they're not able to process it, they're not able to deal with the calamity of it all. You've been preparing. Like, if this was like, doomsday preppers, you're that person who has like a garage full of cans of toilet paper. You've doomsday prepped for this situation. So for some of you, it's literally a money thing because it's 8 of Pentacles. So some of you have literally been putting money in the bank, stacking your chips. Like I said, you go to the person and you're like, listen, I'm moving out. And they're like, ha, you're not going anywhere. You don't have any money. And you pull out your bank account and you're like, so as you can see, I have plenty of money and I'm leaving. And they're like, what? And you're just like, yeah, I'm smart. I'm really smart. Like, I don't know what else to tell you. So some of you have literally been working hard to save your money, to cut back on spending, expenditures. There you go. Thank you. So that you could save more money, so that you have a deposit in first months and last month, so that you can leave wherever you're leaving from. Beautiful. Others of you, you've been saving for that vacation to Brazil. Maybe you're not going to end the relationship, but you're like, okay, well, I'm going to Brazil. And they're like, huh? Yeah. Oh, we're going to Brazil? No, I'm going. And they're like, huh? I, Capricorn, am going to Brazil for 2 weeks. And they're like, come on. Where's my ticket? Where's my confirmation ticket? And you're like, I'm not playing. I'm going to Brazil by myself. But Capricorn, you're like, I told you. This is what I want, and this is what I'm going to do. I've worked for it. I've saved money for it. I'm going. Quick. That's quick. That's it. That's just affirming that preparation that you did for the tower moment. That preparation that you did for this change, this seemingly sudden change. Or if it's not sudden, it's very big. It's enormous. Okay, huge. All right, so you're prepared and you're solid on that. Now, right above the Death card, you've got the World card. Oh, did I do that wrong? I think I did. Oh, never mind. No, I didn't. Anyway, oh, thank you. That's like, why was I talking about all that? Okay, so the World card, as the name might indicate, can talk about travel. So again, for some of you, or movement. If it's not travel, it's like geographical movement. So this whole thing of moving on, moving out, moving in, vacationing, whatever. Or moving business, moving your interest, your money from one place to another. that all makes sense. Thank you. I was like, did I do something wrong here? Like, I picked this up and I was like a little lost for like 2 seconds. Anyway, so the world card can talk about that actual movement, physical, or movement of like interest, like your energetical movement, your energetical, I don't know why I'm saying it that way, investments, going from one place to the next. Also talks about what has been going strong throughout this entire reading, the ending of one phase or one chapter or one storyline of your life, and then the beginning of another, or not the continuation, but I don't know if you've ever read a book with like more than one protagonist. So like a few chapters will talk about this one protagonist for a while, and then you turn the page and we talk about the other character. It's sort of like that. It's like a changing of perspective or the changing of focus. So your focus may have been on, like I said, in this business thing, growing your business, growing and finding an audience and finding a base for whatever you're creating. YouTube videos, like I said, maybe you've built up a website, or maybe you're Insta famous and you have it strong going on your Instagram account, but now you're trying to move on and do something else. So maybe now you've inked a deal doing television. It's like the theme is the same. My career, growing my business is the same, but the way in which I do it, moving from social media to actual traditional media, radio, television, something like that. You see what I mean? The focus is the same, but the perspective is different. In a relationship, the focus is the same. I want to be happy. I want to feel fulfilled, but it's just not with you. So we're over. We end that relationship, and then we go and we date. And some of you might be doing that. I could never do it. It's not my kind of thing, but I know people do it, where you go from one relationship to the next. Some of you might be doing that. So you break up, and within a week, not a week, but within a month or so, you have a new relationship. That's how some people are. And that's okay. That's the way you want to do it. I could never do it, personally, but I know people can. No, we don't need to talk about that because I don't feel that's necessarily part of this. No, yeah, we're good. And for those who are wondering, well, what were you going to say? I was going to talk about the signs that are associated with the world card, but I don't feel that's a significant message. But now that I've talked about it, let's go ahead and mention it. Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. Fixed signs, they're associated with the world card. Maybe they're important to you, but I don't think it's super important to you, if I'm honest. Outcome for November, star card. Okay, maybe it is important. This is the card of Aquarius. So maybe there's an Aquarius of importance in your life, but it does not have to be. My nose is itchy. What is going on? I don't have allergies, so I don't know what this is. Anyway. Card of Aquarius. But beyond that, not even caring that this belongs to Aquarius. This is a card about healing, a card about wishes coming true and being aligned with a clear vision of who and what you are and what it is you want out of life, what it is going to make you happy, going to make you feel enveloped is how they're making me feel, like beyond happiness and beyond stability and structure. It's being secure. Thank you. Secure. So happy, secure, but also feeling like it's a wish or a dream come true. So it's a little layered for you, Capricorn, because you're not a dreamy sign. You definitely are not one of those signs that has your head in the clouds and you're, looking out the window and you're sighing and you're romantic in that way. No, you're pretty much a realist. Like, you're not a pessimist and you're not an optimist. You're a realist. And so that's why I feel this star card is serving that aspect of you as well, where you have practically prepared over here for your best life, for the next best road forward for you. And you want that road, your preparation, your efforts to feel like a dream or a wish come true. As much as you're not usually a dreamy person sighing and, oh, wouldn't that be nice? Like, if that's not who you are, but it's a nice thought. it would be cool to experience that a little bit. Like, you would never want to get so involved in that energy that is just how you are all the time. Like, God forbid. But occasionally, 20% of the time, 15, 30% of the time, it would be nice to feel like, yeah, that was nice. Yeah, and I think that's in there. But like I said, 10%, 20%, whatever. That's what you're hoping for. The rest is just like, no, I want to make sure that things are helpful in guiding me, or everything that I've done is helpful and it guides me further along my path towards my goals. I want to feel healthy when I do it. So you want to be you want to have a clear head. You want to be eating right, taking care of your health, sleeping right. You don't want to be stressed. The star card is not a card that welcomes in stress. It's not a card. I mean, you can use this card and this energy to heal stress, but it's certainly not where stress can take over. So everything that you're doing or have done or have been doing has been, so yeah, you get a little bit of your dreamy, if wishes come true and wishing on a star and all that, you get a little bit of that. But what you mostly get is this cleansed, healthy, balanced, clear affirmation and clear confirmation that you did what you did and you feel good about it. Like, maybe after Thanksgiving, you wait a few weeks and then you get to this point. Because, after the argument with your family, Aunt Tina, Uncle Joe, all those people, there's a fallout between you and your parents, maybe. And, your father or your mother's like, I'm never speaking to you again. You're not my son. You're not my daughter. Like, being really dramatic. And you let it simmer down. You're just like, all right, let's everybody get to their corners. Let's everybody take a breather here. And then you come back and you want to have this healed or healing energy around you. This, thank you, envelopment, the security to go back and face your parents, face your roommate, face your partner, whoever, and say, listen, what you said it. What I said it. We can't go back and change those things, but let's go forward and let's be honest with each other. Let's be real with each other. I have this way about me, or I have this idea about my life, and this is what I want. I know you might be hurt by that. I know that you might be shocked or surprised by some of that, but at the same time, it's like, listen, we can't go on the way we've been going on. So this whole thing of with the parents living in my house rent-free, I did this so that you don't have to feel the burden of having your adult child living in your house. It's like this thing. It's like, as much as this decision benefits me, it's going to help you as well. So if it is the relationship, Mr., Mrs., I love Florida, and you're just like, Brazil, baby, and you let them go, you break off that relationship. They might be, really caught up in the ending of your relationship. And so you go back a few weeks later, or you come back from Brazil and you're like, look, I had a great time, and I had a great time while we were together. But you need to find someone who literally loves Florida as much as you do. Like, I like it, but that's not my lifestyle, baby. I'm not trying to live like that. I'm trying to be out there seeing the world. Or I see more for my life than just these close to home vacations, or these repetitive behaviors and these repetitive interests. Like, we can only do this so many times before I get bored, before I get like really bogged down and like disinterested in that. I can't. We can be friends, but we can't be partners. You see what I mean? So standing firm, being secure in this decision that you've made, and finding a healing through it. So yeah, mom and dad, I move out, but that doesn't mean I'm not your son or your daughter anymore. It doesn't mean you're not my parents anymore. Just because we break up over Brazil and Florida doesn't mean we can't be friends. Just because I'm leaving this partnership, this business partnership, doesn't mean I won't ever be grateful to you. It doesn't mean I won't send more business your way. What we had together, you helped me in such a tremendous way. I appreciate everything that you've done. If I have other people who come up and they want a start, I'll point them in your direction. But I have bigger goals in mind, so I have to move on to something else. Okay? Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. Overall energy for the month, Justice card. card of Libra, so there might be a Libra of significance in your life, but again, it does not have to be. Justice, talking about legal systems, so for some of you, you might have to get lawyers or people of a certain profession involved. Experts, like tax experts for some of you. If this is like a business thing, you might have to, if you're starting your own business, like you might have to like register with your state, or some of you might have to do like federal registrations, things like this. And you know, of course, are dealing with those professionals in those worlds. Others of you, like I was just saying, like you want the situation to be fair. You want it to work out for everybody involved. You want to be as diplomatic and inclusive as possible. But at the same time, you don't want yourself to be, you know, screwed over. Like you don't want to screw anybody over in this whole thing. You don't want to screw yourself over. You don't want to screw anybody else over either. So how can we all benefit from this? That's like sort of the theme here. And additionally, I think the Justice card has come out as your overall, because even if someone's crying and they're upset or they're angry at you, Capricorn, and that might not be the best or the easiest to sort of navigate through that energy and navigate through those conversations and those interactions, it actually is sort of what everybody needs to kind of get to that new calibration, that new way of functioning. So, you know, Thanksgiving 2018 is going to go down in the history as being one of the turning points in your family's dynamic. So many things were said, so many things were done, so many declarations were made, and then it's like after Thanksgiving 2018, Thanksgiving 2019, 2020, 2023, 2028, etc., 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 will just be all the more better than if 2018 never happened, if Thanksgiving 2018 never happened. So if you're ending relationships and Mr. and Mrs. I Love Florida feels like, yo, Capricorn, you're the best thing that happened to me. You can't do this to me. I love you so much. And they're hanging on to you. That might be difficult to deal with that now and annoying in some cases. But come 2019, 2020, 2021, 2028, 2032, whatever, this person will learn, man, if Capricorn never dumped me over this Florida thing, I would have never met my future husband, my future wife, whatever. So, you see what I mean? There's like a upswing from this point, is kind of what I'm feeling. And it feels unfair to some people involved. It might feel even to you a little unfair. But actually, it's going to turn out to be the most balanced, the most equal or beneficial in the long run is what I feel. Okay? Alright, Cap. That is your reading for November 2018. My nose is still itchy. What is this? Anyway, I thank you guys. Oh, God, I'm about to sign off because my nose is so itchy. Listen, if you liked the video, there's a like button down there. Hit it. That would be great. There's also a comment section. You can comment on the video. Let me know how it resonated in your life, if it did. If you don't want to leave those comments publicly, some people are a little, shy about it. You can always email me and I'll read your comments there, and I will give you, I'll respond with like, oh, thank you, or hey, you're the best, whatever. So it won't just be I read it and then you never see anything from me. I usually try to go through and give likes or comments back to the comments that I get. So if you want to share any of that with me, any feedback, that would be amazing. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed at all. That would be amazing as well. Share the video if there's others in your life who you think could benefit from the message. And yeah, I will be back in pretty shortly because I got to get these December videos out. Because December is going to be a busy month for me. I think I'm traveling. Oh my God. Anyway, so I'll be back soon with your December readings. Until then, I thank you guys so much for watching. Take care, guys. Bye.